Hi, my name is Tim Jack, sales rep for Randox Toxicology, based in Tennessee. I'm here today to speak with Brian Pierce, Coroner from Baldwin County, Alabama. We're going to discuss how he uses the multi-stat in his office. Okay, what we have here is Brian Pierce from Baldwin County. He's our newest recipient of the multi-stat that actually he got in June of this year. So thank you for joining us today.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
appreciate that. I'm going to ask you a few questions about, of course, yourself, your county, and of course the multi-stat and what's going on right now. So,
Okay, yeah, absolutely.
all right. So really, tell me a little bit about your office and the county.
Well, we're in Baldwin County, Alabama. We're out on the Gulf Coast, halfway between Mobile and Pensacola. We're a moderate-sized county with about a 250,000 residential population that swells to about 500,000 during the summer months.
Okay. Well, can you provide an overview of how your office works and when it comes to death investigations?
We're at a coroner's office, and we have regional medical examiner system. So our autopsies and pathology services actually come from Mobile, from the Alabama Department of Forensic Science.
Okay.
We send typically before the Randox, we were able to send our toxicology to Hoover, Alabama, for processing. That process would take 30 to 90 days to receive back.
Right.
Receiving the Randox allowed us to surveil our drug overdose, which have certainly swelled over the past 3 or 4 years.
Oh, nice.
With the presence of illicit fentanyl, our drug deaths went from about 20 a year to over 75 overdose.
Yeah.
So this allows us to give details to law enforcement and surveil those drug overdoses in a quicker way, and allows us to return those decedents back to their family so they can start that grieving process just a little faster.
That's funny because you kind of answered my next question. Like, is your county seeking an uptick in OD cases? Because that's where,
Absolutely.
So yeah, of course. So tell me, what drugs are you seeing in your county, and is it a trend of the up and down? I mean, what's your take on that?
Yeah, our primary drug is, of course, fentanyl.
Yeah.
It's also followed closely by methamphetamine and cocaine. Ketamine also is making a showing now as well.
Is it a trend like you see some in different times of the year, or is it just kind of steady?
Typically, whenever fentanyl comes into our county, we will have several deaths within a short period of time.
Gotcha.
And then we'll go back to a lull.
Yeah.
So the surveillance of these drugs is really important for our law enforcement.
Good. Okay, great. Next question. So what are the difficulties in the OD suspected cases?
The time in which it takes to get that information back.
Yeah.
The time is really the critical factor for us, being able to return the decedent back to their family so they can start the grieving process, as well as let law enforcement know what drugs were seen, what the decedent had in them, and so forth.
Gotcha. Thank you for that. I really appreciate that. Now we're going to switch gears.
Okay.
Talk more about the multi-stat. And of course, how you're using it and so forth. So I think my first question is that what brought your office to seek out the multi-stat? How was that done?
Actually, we saw it here last year at the IECME. We attended a talk. Our state uses it in its forensic laboratories and our autopsy suites already.
Oh, okay.
This just helps our county speed up the process.
Gotcha. That's good. So can you describe your experience using the multi-stat? Are you the end user, or do you have a team that uses it?
We have 3 people in our office that are trained to use the multi-stat. That allows us to have a little bit of continuity. We don't have to worry. And we can get those results done typically within 24 hours of that decedent's death.
Okay, gotcha. Awesome. So how has the multi-stat helped your office and community overall?
Just recently, we had a case where law enforcement had probable cause, because of our surveillance, to hold individuals who were suspected of providing the fentanyl. So our district attorney has been able to levy charges against those dealers.
Oh, okay.
Otherwise, in the past, they would have been turned loose after 24 hours.
Gotcha.
So it's really helped speed up the process. And again, it's that surveillance. We're still depending on our main lab to give us confirmatory results. But it really certainly helps us guide the investigation, help the law enforcement understand what's involved.
Gotcha. So with the multi-stat, how has the speed of what it does helped you in your office to get things going at a more rapid pace?
Well, in the past, it would have been 60 to 90 days. In many cases, we may have to wait 3 to 4 days to send the person to have the blood drawn.
Oh, wow.
So there was a huge delay in information.
Gotcha.
Being able to get that information at a more rapid pace allows us to clear cases faster.
Right.
And pass that information along to the families.
I was gonna say that back to the families too, because without the information, they couldn't do the funeral and so forth.
That's correct.
Gotcha. All right. Awesome. So, what is the most valuable aspect of your experience with Randox Toxicology?
Oh, it's no doubt the speed at which I can get information. Instead of having to wait on an outside agency to provide me that information, I have a venue. I have a route, a vehicle by which to go gain that information.
Gotcha. And I know that's for you. That's invaluable to you because it's not just a monetary thing, but it's overall.
Right, and really, when on the big scheme of things, the cost of the Randox makes it almost a no-brainer. I was using an outside lab prior at about $400 a case.
Right.
This has greatly reduced my cost.
That's right. And that's a good aspect too. How did you get your multi-stat? Like, tell me how you got it, like from fundings. Were you getting a grant, or how did that really work?
Funding's always a challenge.
Yeah,
we all know.
That's right.
What we were able to do is instead of asking for the lump sum, we were able to lease the Randox.
Okay.
Through our county.
Yeah.
So that gave us the ability to go get the funds, to get it in the office, to get it working.
Right.
While we develop grant programs to pay for the ongoing service.
And that's kind of funny because I know that program and I've used that before with my own counties in Ohio of the lease to initially pay for it themselves on their own accord.
Right.
Taking their time, getting the grants that they need. So
it's always challenging with funding.
Yeah.
But Randox made it really easy for us to move through that process.
Awesome. That's good. I know we talked about other people have the multi-stat, but do you know of any counties near you that use it?
I don't know of any other county coroner in the state of Alabama that's utilizing Randox. Our Department of Forensic Science, they're utilizing it in autopsy suites.
Yeah.
And for much the same way I think our county is as surveillance.
Yeah.
To kind of guide your next decision making.
Yeah.
Do we refer for autopsy? Do we not?
Right.
Being able to get that information makes us make good decisions. Cuts down on my transportation cost.
Right.
Significantly.
That's right.
On autopsy.
Yeah.
And reduces the stress on the pathologist.
That's good. Okay. Just a few more questions, Mr. Pierce. Do you have any personal observations from OD or fentanyl cases you've worked on in the past years? Has anything kind of hit home about basically looking at and getting the Randox to help that case that you've known of personally?
Most of our cases are certainly accidental. I don't think any of our cases people intend to overdose because of the fentanyl. That occupies about 70% of our case volume.
Oh, wow.
On overdose.
Oh, wow.
Are going to be fentanyl. So one story in particular was a 60-something-year-old male that was a heroin addict. He had been a heroin addict for years. And he would go buy his 8-ball of heroin and come back. And one day he went and got it, but guess what? It was fentanyl.
Yeah.
And being able to turn it was laced.
Yeah.
And no, it was pure fentanyl.
Oh, wow.
It was all.
Oh, wow.
That's all he had. And those are the cases that there's so many accidental overdoses. People don't intend to do this to themselves.
And I know you don't see them as being like a number, but it hits home when you know that it's in your county and these people are dying.
Right. And it knows no boundaries. As young as 17 years old. As old as 73, I think, was our oldest.
Right.
It doesn't discriminate.
Gotcha.
So Randox really helps. Those are the cases that are accidental. We know what it is. We can collect our samples.
Yes.
And we can return that decedent back to their family.
Gotcha.
And let them start the process of grieving. Gotcha.
Well, Brian, thank you, Pierce, for your time. I appreciate the interview. What we have, and I know that we're a team now, so we're here to help you in long term.
Well, I appreciate that.
Thanks, sir.
So much.
All right.